Welcome, dear one, to this sacred space that we create together. I'm so thankful for you. I am being asked to present a rather controversial idea today, and I've been resisting it. So I very much appreciate your presence and your support and your listening. Because you see, the message that I get to bring today is that God doesn't care. And what that means today in this context is that God does not judge. And trust me, I have been in the circles where that kind of a statement, had I heard it, I would have mentally flipped out and essentially been up in arms. So I get it. It's part of why I don't say these kinds of things in public until now. I've been in these places. Oh, and by the way, God is not a Christian. I live in Texas right now. I understand the implications of making a statement such as that. Or at least I think I do. Anyone who believes that they have a corner on God, as in full and only access, we have a label for those kinds of groups of people outside of religion. It's called a cult. The one who believes that they know everything, and that those who don't believe the same way as they are outside and lost and in need of saving. The ones who believe that they have all of and the only answers. It's called a cult. Whether that's religious faith of some kind, politics, any kind of belief, sorry, that doesn't hold some space for mystery and for learning and for greater and higher understanding, isn't capable of expanding. And there is always room for expansion. That is the point of being alive, and that is the point of God. And perhaps it is the point of humanity and being human, is to explore and to experience and to expand. And if we believe we have all of the answers, then we have not left any room for curiosity and expanding. Because that happens when we don't already have everything. God is bigger than our present understanding, because it must be so. And I understand that the label, the word that we as human beings have created to symbolize, to stand as a symbol, a symbolic representation of God, is itself a limitation. One would even make the correlation. This is why the Hebrew people in the Bible And perhaps to this day, I'm certain in some parts of the world, and I am not versed in all of the details because it is impossible for one human being to hold everything. Because if that were the case, we would not be limited to this human form. And oh, we could really explore that theory, couldn't we? What if we're not? What if we are not limited to this human form? What if we are not limited to a singular lifetime, a singular existence? What if we could know everything, but in order to know everything, we would have to be God, but we are not God. Therefore, how arrogant is it of any of us to believe that we know and have all of the answers? Hebrew people, the language, the word, the title, the label for God was not spoken, and when it was written, it was written without all of the sounds of the word, as though to imply, to remind that we do not understand. It is beyond our comprehension, beyond our capacity to comprehend. And like right now, internally, I'm considering what I've just said, and I know that there are parts that are missing. I know that. And yet this is this moment, and I am being asked to bring this message in my voice, in my way of being, into this world. Because I believe this message so strongly. And I see the pain that is caused in the hearts of people, and therefore in the lives that they live, the way that they live. I see the pain. I have experienced that pain. I imagine that I will have pain attempted to be inflicted upon me by giving voice to this message. But it is not for those who believe they are in power that I speak this message, but for the ones who feel themselves in pain and in judgment. Because you see, that's the thing. It's not so much that God doesn't care, it's that God doesn't judge. God, as we don't know God, but we use this label, is love and acceptance beyond our human comprehension, beyond our ability to interpret, to perceive in this social culture that we have created and has been perpetrated and perpetuated in modern days by conservative religion. Which is not to say that there are not consequences for all behavior, because there is, but God is greater than our comprehension. And this life experience is greater than our comprehension. And each one of us is valuable and valid. Each experience is cherished and cherishable because it is not finite. There is only one, but it is not the end. There is no experience that is the end. It is merely a moment, a flash in time, a piece of sand in the breadth of the earth. And in the context of the earth, each piece of sand is a part of it. But in the greater scope of being and living, that one drop of experience, that one grain of experience, while it is important and has beauty within itself, it has color and texture within itself, but it is not the whole. The pain, the experience, regardless of the colors of that experience, is only one moment of a greater existence, which is beyond our comprehension. So the judgment that we feel is the judgment of our finite minds in this limited understanding. And we can only hope to begin to comprehend the magnitude of the infinite. And the infinite has no need to judge the grain of sand because it sees the entire cosmos and holds it with delight. And so are we. Yes, our actions, behaviors, and beliefs result in experiences. We interact with those around us, and they cause experiences. These energies intertwine and influence one another. And we have beliefs and experiences. And God does not judge. God does not care about the one grain of sand, inasmuch as it does not alter in a meaningful way to cause judgment of the whole, because it is the whole that matters, the entirety. And the grain of sand is a part of that, and it is valid and valuable because of that. But to single it out and to give it some value of good or bad, righteous or unrighteous, as though that one grain of sand, thereby all the rest are judged, emphasizes a lack of understanding. And who am I to speak to this? Because that is part of what I am being asked to bring today. Who am I? Why trust me? Why have any value of what I have to say? Because I've lived my life within the Christian religion. I was brought up in it. I had a series of very interesting experiences. I was a pastor's wife for 18 years. I've been in mainline denominations. I've served in various capacities. in so many different places. And I've had my dark night of the soul. And I've come back to my faith. And I've questioned. And I've questioned the rules that I have tried so much to follow that never felt satisfying. And I have been a perpetrator of spiritual abuse towards others. And I have had abuse perpetrated on me. And in 2021, I almost died. And in that experience, I experienced love beyond any that I had ever experienced outside of my own mind. This was an experience beyond the intellect, beyond the will. It was an experience of God, but not in a way that anyone would have been able to describe to me. And there were not bright lights. There were not people there waiting for me to greet me. And I will share more of the details of my beyond life experience. Today it is only enough. It is enough to say only that I know enough to know that I don't know everything there is to know. But I know this. While there are experiences and ways of being result in experiences, God is so much more than we imagine. No matter what we imagine, there is more. And there is no judgment. This I know. This I know. And so I share. So it is. So it is. So it be.